On this film, I'd like to address several issues: ADD, bipolar, and depression. In the medical field, ADD would be labeled as attention deficit disorder. In this ministry, we have relabeled it to attention distraction disorder, which is very prevalent with young children, teenagers, and some adults in today's society. Now, what's happened is this. If a child is in a home where mom and dad are yelling, screaming, and fighting, and that child is in school, is that child going to be focusing on the homework? Is he going to be focusing on what the teacher has to say? Is that child going to be focusing on 1 and 1 equals 2? Or is that child going to be thinking about what's going on at home? Is mom still going to be there? Is dad going to be there? What's it going to be like when I get home? That child's mind is so distracted by what is important to that child at home that the child can't focus on his work at school. So it's really not a disorder. It's a distraction. It's thoughts that are intrusive to the child's mind that keep the child from focusing on what the child wants to focus on at school. And no matter how hard you try to get that child to focus, it's almost impossible until what's going on at home has been resolved. Or it could be a bully. It could be any type of painful situation that's ongoing. The child could be getting molested. The child could be getting bullied by someone in class or someone at recess, and there's constant thoughts of what's going to happen. So there's fear in the child, and that's what's causing the mind to be distracted. So we need to resolve what's going on at home or what's causing the fear within the child so that the mind is not distracted, so the mind is at peace again. Reference to bipolar. Again, there's a lot of people that are labeled with bipolar. Now, what is bipolar? Bipolar basically means that the emotions of a person go from one extreme to the other very quickly. The source of origin of bipolar is usually in the childhood, where everything in the home was either really good or really bad, but there wasn't much in between. And there wasn't much time between the bad and the good for the child to adjust. In other words, the child could be playing in his room, and suddenly dad comes home. And as soon as dad walks in the door, there's yelling and screaming. So it went from really good to really bad with no transition time. And if that kept going on and on and on, year after year after year, then it's recorded in that child's mind how to feel. Feel either really good or feel really bad, but there's hardly any medium there. This can be resolved by going back and resolving these spiritual issues in the mind of all of the negative. Once the negative has been resolved, all we have is then positive. If you're suffering from ADD, or your child is, or you know someone that's suffering from bipolar, give us a call. The other issue that I wanted to talk about is depression. Depression comes from negative thinking over a long period of time. The negative thoughts can be as a result of a divorce, the loss of a loved one, death, a job loss. It could be coming from your childhood where it was bad things happening over and over, and you keep remembering these bad things. It could be failures in your life. It could be unforgiveness to God, unforgiveness to yourself, unforgiveness to another, and these painful thoughts just keep resurfacing over and over and over. If you're suffering from depression, I'd like for you to look at another video that we made. It's rather long, it's about an hour, on Nightline, channel 16. There's a link here that you can click to that video. It's about an hour-long discussion on depression and suicide.